Hey, check it out.
Hey.
Finesse.
Hey. What's up?
How you doing, man?
What's up, man?
What's
Good
going
to
on,
see you.
fellas?
Thanks for
Good to see
doing
y'all.
this. All
Absolutely.
Right. How's
How you
everything?
guys been?
We've been good. I see we didn't get you a drink.
I see. Rude.
Let me ask a question. Why Atlanta? What makes Atlanta what it is?
Goes back to music, politics, sports.
Those three, the big three.
Oh, the big three.
One of the things that makes it really unique is the fact that it's the home of so many historically black colleges and universities.
Yeah.
Obviously, two of the first, Morehouse and Spelman, but then also Clark Atlanta, and back when we were young bucks, there was also Morris Brown College.
Mo Brown.
Right.
Yeah.
What role do you think that those colleges and universities played in making Atlanta what it is?
It was huge, man, because A, we had one I would like to call patriarch of the city, Maynard Jackson.
Yeah.
And all of his buddies.
Tell people who Maynard Jackson was.
Maynard Jackson was like the original OG first black Atlanta mayor.
Yeah.
And he was Diallo's complexion, but we still claimed him.
He was that dark. He was that dark.
He was a great guy and a great politician, and he got things done.
Was he from Atlanta?
He was from Atlanta.
Yeah,
I'm
no, he
pretty
comes
sure.
from a long line, the John Wesley Dobbs family of Atlanta, which is one
They
of the
have golf
first
courses
families
and all
of
that stuff.
Well, but they also were the people who founded that. The Dobbs family founded the first prominent black church in the city.
Having all those guys come up through Morehouse and Morris Brown and all these different colleges, and actually having their kids come up the same way, we started growing up with the kids of famous black civil rights leaders.
Yeah.
Then you had people who were growing up with kids whose dad was the sheriff, and, you know, and this person was the Fulton County commissioner, and this person was
a very big
And then you
deal.
realize, damn, everybody black.
Yeah.
Can't really talk about Atlanta unless you talk about white flight. After Maynard Jackson gets elected, most of the white population left. By the mid-'80s, the city is actually 80% black, and that's sort of the environment in which I think you and I were born. And so at that point, like, you know, what's in Atlanta? Like, they tried to make downtown happen, underground Atlanta, you know, nice try.
Still trying.
Still trying.
I've been there. It's not...
The first Chick-fil-A, which was built in a black neighborhood, was all but abandoned.
Yeah. Right.
Greenbrier Mall.
Right.
But if you study the trends, what you'll notice is that the new generation of kids, white and black, they will gladly inhabit like sort of the central areas of like around the central downtown library branch. Like, it really does seem, to go back to your point, that people are, the younger people at least, are more willing to live together.
Right, and they have built a lot of high-rises downtown. A lot of the white people are coming back. We actually had a lady named Mary Norwood running for mayor, and she got close.
And she came close.
They came close.
Which brings me to one of my questions. Will Atlanta ever again have a white mayor?
No, because once we realized they came close, everybody was like, hey, they came close.
Another interesting fact about the city, almost 50% of black people in Atlanta own their own home, which is, I believe, 13% higher than the national average.
That's a lot of equity.
Not only was housing $150,000 for a 3-2 or 4-2 in a
Which I think is
cul-de-sac,
another big part of why
front
you
yard,
have
backyard.
black
Not
folks
only
here.
was the music scene popping, more so it was the Olympics came down in '96 and then really exploded the city. People from the north, south, east, everybody came to visit and didn't go back. Because people up north who were paying, I don't know, $400,000 for 800 square feet, realized that they could really live good in Atlanta.
I really want to ask, and I'm going to be very quick about it, but I remember, I went to school with Diallo up in Boston, and I remember he came up there talking about his Atlanta music, and we were like, hey, shut up, you bumpkin, you're stupid. And then nowadays, fast forward 2016, Atlanta is the center of black music.
Now?
Right.
You're laughing now. But my question is, do you remember the moment when you said, hey, wait a second, our music is starting to take over? Do you remember what that felt like? What was that moment like?
Southern playalistic.
That early? You're saying Outkast?
Yeah. We had Jermaine Dupri and Criss Cross. But when Outkast came, they brought a culture that was like, yo, this is the real Atlanta on the street side.
And rather than being this blip, once Outkast came, there was no turning back.
There was no turning back because they were great.
Yeah.
They weren't just good. They was amazing. I think Atlanta just has everything you want, and that's why people like it.
Demographically speaking, if you want to be around black people, we have them.
Yeah.
They have houses.
Right.
They live very comfortably in a temperate setting, which is popular with our people.
Sure.
I mean, like, it could have happened in Juneau, Alaska, but it didn't.
No,
Right.
no. Like 4 black people in Juneau. 2 work at
5 when I visit.
2 work at the airport.
By the way, most people, when they visit Atlanta for the first time, they go through Hartsfield-Jackson Airport. Another part of making that city specifically, not Memphis, not, Birmingham, but specifically Atlanta, a regional hub. I always think whenever you step off the plane at Hartsfield-Jackson, you're like, man, what city is this?
Right.
You do feel like, oh, I've landed in Africa.
Sometimes.
Perhaps someone's selling fragrant oils.
I was asleep for 2 hours.
Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Diallo. Thank you, Bashir.
Hopefully you'll come back again.
I will.
All right.
I love this home.
This is nice. Thank you.
We don't know who lives here.
No, they let us in. This is Black History.
Has anyone ever told you you look just like Charlie Chaplin?
Oh my God, can you do the waddle? Do the waddle.
Do it.